Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mintae coming through with some great gems to drop on you guys about loan origination. If you're new to my channel, welcome. In this channel we do talk specifically about mortgages and how you can get qualified for a mortgage that works for you. So if you have not already hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so, and also leave a comment to let me know where you're from or what state, where you want to purchase your next home at, or even just a simple hey. Also, if you have not, go ahead and like this video or the previous videos. If you have not already watched the previous videos, go ahead and watch the previous videos, because this one is going to be leading up into the upcoming videos and so forth on the back end that we've already created videos for you to watch and get you to this step that we're getting ready to talk about today. Throughout this video, you may hear me say DTI, and what I mean by DTI is strictly your debt to income. Previously, before this specific video, we already talked about credit and we already talked about income. So credit should be no less than around a 680 preferably, but we still can get you qualified if you're below that end, as low as 500 currently for the FHA loan. If you are above that, then great, you're on a great start. We also already talked about income, so if you're not sure how much you make per month or annually, then there is a previous video that you can watch that goes over how to calculate your income and which type of incomes we will use to get you qualified for your mortgage. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the debt to income, aka DTI. So when it comes to DTI, a lot of people are questioning, well, what are you calculating? Are you calculating my utilities that I self-report? Are you calculating the subscriptions that I have? Should I cut back on those items? Or are you counting the charge-offs? The items that I just said, we are not counting toward your DTI. Charge-offs are kind of a maybe depending on where they are standing, but for the majority of the time, we do not count the charge-offs for your DTI. Items that we do go ahead and calculate for your DTI is going to be a car payment. And a car payment can be a little tricky, because if you're leasing a car, then we always have to count that toward your DTI no matter what. Now, if you purchase the car and you've had the car for a while and you have less than 10 payments, then we are not going to calculate that toward your DTI. And then also something that we are always going to calculate is going to be installment loans. Well, Mintae, what's an installment loan? An installment loan is something that you took out as far as a loan. It could be like Upstart or a bank loan that you took out for renovations on a home previously, or for, I don't know, let's say that you wanted to go ahead and purchase a boat and you have a loan for that. Those type of installment loans, we are going to count toward your debt to income. Another thing that we are going to count on your debt to income is going to be credit cards. The tricky thing about credit cards is we're only counting the minimum payment. So let's say that I have a credit card with Amex and my monthly payment is $300 and my balance is $6,000. Yes, we do see the balance that's there, but toward your debt to income, it's just going to be that $300 that you're paying monthly. So if you're getting close to purchasing the home and you want to get a clear shot of the DTI, then pay off those unnecessary credit cards or installment loan if you can. Don't stress yourself if you cannot pay those off. That's okay. There's different programs, and each program has a different percentage of what your DTI can be. Your loan originator will go ahead and negotiate that and work that out for you. But if you're wanting to go with a conventional, you need to have the lowest DTI possible. So if your DTI is less than 45%, then conventional is definitely going to be on your side. If it's a little bit more than that, then you do have FHA, which goes to 57%. However, when I deal with clients, I like to keep it under the 50% range, just because I always shave off some points, just because I don't want any surprises when we're to the closing table or something falls through. I'd rather just play it safe and to make sure that we're going to get to the closing table before just giving you the max number and then you're like 0.01% off, and then by the time we close you're over. So it just turns into a chaotic mess. So I just think it's best to stay a little bit under Now, in this video, again, I'm going to show you how you can calculate your DTI. So installment loans, the car loans, the credit cards, we're counting that. If you have another mortgage somewhere else, then we are going to calculate that toward your DTI as well. Now, if you're just on the title and you're not on the loan, then that's not going to go toward you, but we can obviously see it if we need to. You don't necessarily have to be on the loan if you're on the title. So I want to do a scenario of, let's say, myself, and I'm wanting to calculate my DTI. So I'm just going to say my total debts that I pay monthly is $1,200. On your normal standard calculator, your DTI, you're going to go ahead and calculate this with me or watch me calculate it. So my DTI, I'm going to take the $1,200, and let's say my monthly income is, I'm going to say my normal income is $7,000 per month. So I take my debt monthly payment, divide that by the $7,000, which is my income, and that equals 0.17. That means my DTI is 17%. So when it comes to mortgages, we have the front end, which is just your debts, and then on the back end, we have your debts plus the new mortgage that you are going to take on eventually or in this transaction. So now that I have my 17% on the front end, because that's just my debts, that's what I'm working with. So this is the number that I want you guys to stay under the 45% mark overall, or as low as possible. The lower the better. You have different options to go to different products. So let's say now I have cleared on the front end, and now I need to worry about the back end. Well, let's say I'm looking for a mortgage that's going to be around $2,000 per month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that $1,200 of my monthly debt plus the $2,000 that I want to inquire about a mortgage. Simple math, $3,200, and then I'm going to divide that by the $7,000, which is my monthly income. Now that equals 0.457. Since that third number is above the 5, we're going to go ahead and say it's 0.46. We're just going to round up just to ensure that we're okay. So my front end is 17%, and then my back end is going to be 46%. If I had a client that was in this predicament, they're good to go. They can go conventional, which I'll talk about the different products in another video, but they can go conventional. Their DTI seems manageable, and they have the down payment. They're good to go. So DTI, if you are on the higher end and you need to take care of the debts that are on your credit reporting, just make sure that you pay off the largest one that is the highest monthly payment. It may not be the full amount that you're paying off. Let's say I have an Amex for $9,000 and then I have a Capital One card, but the Amex I have no interest on a monthly payment, and my monthly payment's only $200, but my Capital One card is a bigger or lesser amount, but my monthly payment is bigger. Well, I'm going to pay off that Capital One card because ultimately you just want to shrink your debt to income. So that's how you would handle those situations and prioritize what needs to be paid off. And again, the items that we're not calculating toward your debt to income is going to be self-reported utilities, subscriptions, and then charge-offs in some cases. Now, the maybes are going to be student loans. Depending on the product, some of the products that we have, you're not allowed to have student loans, or it has to be in great standing and you have a plan to pay them off and so forth. And then some collections, we only use a certain amount versus the whole entire amount. And then any short-term leases. What I mean by short-term leases, let's say you go to Ashley Furniture's and you're in a 12-month lease for a certain amount. Not a credit card, but an actual loan. So if it's a short-term loan, then we may and may not count that. That's kind of on the fence. But ultimately, the ones that we are going to count for sure is just going to be the car, the installments, the credit cards, and other mortgages. You want to make sure those are at the lower end when it comes to your debt to income. So that way, if the maybes do happen, it's understandable and it's okay. This video was pretty short and brief, but I just wanted to get this out there in front of you because I've had a few clients come to me and was not understanding how I calculated the DTI. Or they think their DTI is, I don't have any debts, but in reality, you do have kind of a few extra debts that you probably shouldn't have, so let's get those taken care of. So a lot of things do happen when it comes to the debt to income. We think about if you've opened any new accounts within the last 60 days, and you kind of have to prove that you didn't, or write a statement saying, I did not open any new accounts within the last 60 days. So that's how that would work if you have any new account that's not showing up on the credit reporting. We just have to ask those questions to make sure that we're not going to be blindsided once we're closer to the closing table, or your pre-approval letter, I should say. So this video, again, brief, short, straight to the point. I just wanted to get that out there just because the clients were kind of questioning how we calculate DTI. So I'm sure there are many of you who do not know how to calculate DTI. So I just wanted to take a second to create this video to help you guys better understand what where DTI comes from. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. I appreciate that. And if you didn't like the video, you already knew the answers to how to calculate DTI, but you know someone who would like the video, then share that video or share this video with them and let them know that, hey, there's this girl named Mintae who's giving out these great gems about loan origination. Check into her YouTube and so forth. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. I want to go ahead and reach as many people as possible with this information, because a lot of times clients do get scared and are insecure about go ahead and purchasing a home when they're in a great standing to do so. So stay tuned for the next video, because we are going to talk about some more gems when it comes to different products in the mortgage industry and what interest rates are kind of looking like. I can't really go through with interest rates fully because they change on a daily basis, but stay tuned. I have some great gems for you guys, and I will talk with you soon.